So I was just sitting here thinking about how I had reached out to my grandma on my father's side, not my mom's side. So earlier I was talking about my mom's side, but I was thinking about how I reached out to my uncle. He's the pastor of the family church. He's my grandmother's brother. So I reached out to him or whatever because she passed away last year, February. And I wasn't able to go, and I really don't have a good, connection with my father's side of the family because I spoke up about him, molesting me when I was a kid. Nobody wanted to believe me. So a lot of the family members, he made them not talk to me. I don't know what he was saying to them, but a lot of them didn't want to talk to me. I stopped going around when I was 13. So so when I reached out to him, I actually had to Google my grandmother's name for her obituary. And then when I did that, I saw his name on there and that he was the one who held the funeral and everything. And so I was like, oh, okay, let me, reach out to him because it told me what cemetery she was in, but it didn't tell me, what lot and everything like that. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna have to reach out to him since he the one who orchestrated the whole shit. And I don't talk to my father's side of the family. I remember meeting him when I was little, but I don't know him like that. So when I called, he was like, oh, what's up? He sound young as hell. I'm like, yo, this nigga. Anyway, it was like the energy he was trying to carry was like a young spirited person. He sounded like somebody my age the way he was talking, and he's my grandmother's brother. Mind you, I don't know him, so when I hear his voice, he's the pastor, and I'm just like, okay. So then he's like, oh, let me call your aunt. No, he said, let me call your cousin, Dreamer. Now, she is his cousin, so she's like a great cousin to me. I don't know how all of that work, but he gets her on the phone because he's saying he don't know all the information or whatever. So gets her on the phone and they get to talking to me, ask me how old I am now, you know, ask me if I spoke to my father, and I'm like, nah. Then I'm like, well, yeah. He was like, oh, so yeah, she wanted to know where, Gloria's uh, buried at. So they give me the address and tell me where she's buried at. And then before he says bye, before I could say, okay, thanks, and go, he gonna say, and let me know how you like your burial grounds. And him and his cousin, which is my whatever, I don't know what the hell to call her. Like I told you, she's his cousin. He's my grandmother's brother, so that's like a great cousin or something. I don't know, but they both started laughing. Excuse me, so hard, like two criminals. And mind you, these are the people who I was talking about was well, I had a dream that a body was buried in a basement, and they was digging the body up before they sold the house. Then the next day, when I woke up, we went to my aunt Bessie's house, and they tell us to go play and shit, and my dad is over there talking to her, and they in the backyard, like on the side of the house, and it goes to the basement. Like there's a door that goes to the basement. But there's also like a side porch door. It's like two side porch doors that's kind of like a triangle, so you could come out both ways. One is a room and one is a living room. Come out on the same side of the porch, And I came out that door looking for him because I wanted to go to the store, and I see him and her, and it's the same vision I saw in the dream. They're in the doorway of the basement. She's already down in the basement. He at the tip, like at the top, talking to her, telling her, well, before we sell a house, we gotta dig up the body and then put more concrete down. And I just turned around and walked away. It's like the this is some really crazy crazy things that I've seen growing up. And to hear this man say to me, let me know how you like your burial grounds after they tell me where my grandmother at. And I was like, what did you talk about? What you mean? He was like, that's where everybody going. The whole family there. You're gonna have a family reunion. I'm like, nah, 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 nah. You're tripping, bro. And a lot of them don't like it, you know, how it is, black families. They don't like it when you speak up about things like molestation and, you know, they don't like it. So they want to shun you, get rid of you. And even with my sister getting pregnant and having sex with my first son's father, when I left him, he began stalking me and tried to shoot me. Anytime I basically I left, you know, I moved like I think it was like a hour or some change away, and when I would go visit my mom and my sister, every time he would show up, kick the door in, try to attack, stalking, standing in the backyard in the middle of the night, like, and I couldn't figure out for the fuck of me how the fuck every time I come up here he attacks me or he finds me or he knows I'm here. God told me your sister, bro. She's still fucking with him. She's still talking to him, even though she's married, even though she's in a relationship. He they got some type of thing going. I don't know. Like, I guess there's a connection because she got pregnant. I don't know. But they're both mad at me because I don't want to be with him. He know that. Got a restraining order done up because he's crazy. And then her, I don't fuck with her because what she's done, what she continuously does. And I just realized things like this do need to be spoken about because you don't think your sister gonna set you up. She want me out of here. She told me she's like she's jealous because everybody always liked me. I was always the smartest. I was always the most creative. She said I was always the most popular. Like, these are things she looked at. I never looked at myself like that. I thought I was just regular. And that's the problem with people. They compare themselves to you and they focus so much on you that they lose a sense of self, and they get mad at you because now they don't feel like they have an identity because they're so focused on you that they didn't even build their own self-awareness, if you get what I mean. And then to try to make everything that I felt like was my goals and my accomplishments, like having my children, raising them by myself when I was in a domestic violence relationship, knowing when to leave and knowing when to stop, trying to give people a chance and trying to trust people again. And you know, once somebody shows you who they are, they put your life in danger, they try to take your life, that's really the end of it. And I'm very happy with the way my children have turned out, the way my life has turned out, even though I've gone through so many things that if I would have been given a piece of paper with everything I was going to go through, I would have thought I would end up like a crackhead or something. I thought I would have, I would have thought I'd have been on the block somewhere, in a hole somewhere, you know, like lost, out of body. But God had a plan the whole time and made sure I didn't find out nothing until it was time. And I'm glad that he does the things that he does when he does them, you know. And I'm glad that he puts certain things on my mind and on my heart to express when he does. It's definitely a healing experience. It's a growing experience. Wisdom is just booming, you know. Feeling real creative and optimistic. And a lot of the things that were kind of heavy on the experience side of what people have done, you know, how it's like a heavy burden. The thoughts, the memories, the feelings, all of that stuff is dissipated, is gone. And I really think it's because I actually took the time to allow myself to feel what I felt in the moment of whatever, and then whatever else I feel later on, I feel it there, you know, and then keep going and keep growing. Allow yourself to sit in those feelings if you feel some type of way. Allow yourself to release those feelings if you need to. Allow yourself to cry if you need to. Happy or sad tears. Like just allowing myself to be has released all of these things that were burdening me, that were other people's nasty actions. I hope that inspires some of you guys to let things kind of like flow and go, and like it's a great feeling.